Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our third bout of the evening. This is the King of Sparta Pro semifinal in the lightweight division. This bout is brought to you by Budweiser, the King of Beers, the official sponsor of the King of Sparta, and Tixar. Get your tickets for the next Sparta event at Tixar. Out of the red corner, LT Nelson.
Here we go, fight fans, getting this King of Sparta tournament fired off. Bringing to the cage our number one seed, LT Smash Nelson. Nelson is our two-time King of Sparta champion, making his way to the cage.
Yeah, how about it? Well, we were just talking to the crowd about what happened in this tournament, and it's just something that we have never seen before. I mean, this is a different beast where you box, kickbox, and then MMA, and we've seen it. The last champion, Dustin Jacoby, is now in the top 15 in the UFC.
How outstanding is that? LT Nelson making a name for himself outside of Sparta as well in the bare knuckle world.
Oh man, I'm telling you, his last two fights, the last one I think is still under review because it went 5 rounds and the guy was out on his feet. The fight before in London was, it was the triangle.
Yeah.
That's smart. You're like a foot on one side and 6 feet on the other side. Basically, you're fighting in a closet. And LT Nelson he loves to fight. I'll give you a perfect example. I was doing announcing for another promotion this summer. We were 5 days out. He calls me, hey, can you get me on the card?
Nice. Well, I made the joke when we had LT on last week during another King of Sparta tournament. He was guest commentating. I said, LT Nelson's one of those guys, you just put him inside a booth and say, in case of fight, break glass.
Yeah, and you know what's weird about this? If it's not his long-lost cousin he's fighting, Anthony Dill looks a lot like LT Nelson.
Interesting. And LT in the cage, ready to kick this tournament off with some pro kickboxing.
This is one man you just do not underestimate.
This is just where he lives.
Out of the blue corner, Anthony Dill.
And listen, I've seen Anthony fight, but I had to dig. I haven't seen any, in fairness to Anthony, I haven't seen recent, but he's got kind of the same look as LT Nelson.
Well, he's the number 4 seed coming to us out of Philadelphia.
Coming a long way. Winner gets 10K.
Not a bad night's work.
But not quite enough to entice me to get in with any of these guys.
A tough night's work, no doubt.
Listen, if I'm gonna get my ass beat, I'm gonna need like, 500 grand at my age. Now, LT is just one of those guys that always stays busy, always stays ready. And the other thing about him is you see the tail of the tape. You see LT at 32, Anthony Dill, the younger, 27. A little bit of a height advantage. Both come in at a buck and a nickel. Pro boxing 6-4. For LT, it doesn't matter tonight. Pro MMA 9-6. Pro kickboxing. That's where the meat of his schedule is for Glory Kickboxing.
Yeah, shows himself as a technical brawler. And Dill coming in with the pro boxing record 2-0, MMA 1-3, pro kickboxing 1-0. So definitely a seeming striking advantage for Nelson, at least in the experience.
I mean, they got a little bit of look-alike here.
Agreed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the King of Sparta lightweight semi-pro kickboxing bout. Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Brought to you by the King of Beers, Budweiser. Also brought to you by Tixar. Fighting out of the King of Beers, Budweiser red corner. He has a professional record of 9 wins and 7 losses. He stands 6 foot tall. He weighed in at 156 pounds. He is your reigning, defending, 2-time King of Sparta champion. From Pete Medensburg, South Africa, LT Smash Nelson. Fighting out of the Larry H. Miller Volkswagen blue corner. He has a professional record of 1 win, 3 losses. He stands at 5'9". He weighed in at 156 pounds. With Algeo MMA and Kickboxing, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Anthony Dill! Referee Oscar Martinez.
Just a quick clarification there. Josh Stewart said it was the semi-pro. What he meant was
Semi-final. Yes.
Yeah, so it is a professional fight.
Saw LT cutting weight yesterday. Was out at Genesis Training Academy talking to the fellas. So when he's in town from Oklahoma, that's where he's spending some of it with Coach Jake Ramos.
Both guys pretty relaxed. Immediately opening up with the head kick.
Good
Dill.
power. Dill's got some good power to him. Check kick. Ooh, Dill's coming with some fire.
A lot of power on everything he's thrown so far. Nelson blocks out with his knee, didn't lift the foot up, but turned the knee out, which can be pretty devastating on your opponent's foot.
Dill, pretty good jab there. LT's got to get moving here. But again, it's a little bit longer. It's not like boxing.
Dill with his hands pretty low. See if LT looks to try to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and if you keep your hands low like that, LT will make you pay for it too.
Yeah, I mean, low like hanging out down around his waist.
LT's kind of a scientist. He'll work his way and see what's working for him. 2 minutes left.
There's just so much experience and so much knowledge and so many forms of combat for LT. But Dill looking very calm, doing a nice job with range management. LT is the taller, longer fighter.
Yep. LT struck with the body, then goes downstairs. Still trying to figure Dill out, I think, right now. Big power kick.
Definitely call this a feeling out round. Dill just stalking forward.
Yeah.
Hands down, begging LT to hit him.
Dill's got some speed to him, no doubt.
Yeah.
LT's got to realize, too, this isn't 5 rounds. It's a 3-round fight.
Right.
Put hands out there, bring the knees. Put hands out there, bring the knees. He's digging down low, he's trying to box with you.
Couple kicks by LT. Nice little counter by Dill. And there's that jab by Dill. Dill doing a good job going to the body as well.
Yeah.
LT blocking a lot of them.
Yeah, and Dill with a nice job with his, I mean, I'm talking about his hands being low, but when LT goes for a body attack, Dill has his guard in place nicely.
Nice knee. Just a little, not quite the impact he wanted. Head kick by Nelson.
Dill
There's
shakes
that
his
jab.
head, shows, hey, that didn't hurt. Smile on the face of Dill. I think we might have somebody who likes to fight as much as LT does.
Yeah, LT's starting to come now. 21 seconds left in this round.
Dill almost taunting his opponent now.
Oh!
That was a good solid knee. Dill took it well.
Yeah, he could sit there and say that didn't bother him, but it did. Nice roundhouse kick by LT. LT started coming on the second half of that round.
Definitely, I think it was just a information gathering first half of the round for LT. Seeing how his opponent reacted.
I'll tell you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, well, you got what everybody else has got in this country.
Darn it.
You're on the tail end of it, though, but you take a look at, Dill's got some power to his kicks and showed that power early.
And a definite willingness to step forward and press the action by Dill.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see a lot of when you're facing LT Nelson.
A couple of good jumping knees by Dill. Nelson landed well with his knees, winning the clinch a couple of times. There's that kick that just scuffed off the head.
I think LT's got to probably be a little more urgent in this second round.
Agreed. And you can already see in the corner here waiting for the bell to ring, LT already pacing a little more.
Yep.
Crowd starting to get a little
Yeah, it was a punch in the
chant
back of the head.
LT, and
Yep.
good sportsmanship by Dill to recognize it.
LT's starting to come. Oh, a big overhand right after that knee. God, that kick has just got so much power to it.
Dill letting his back be pressed up against the cage for pretty prolonged period. Good right, left knees by Nelson.
Yep. LT's coming out with a little more in this round. There's that front T kick, front snap kick from the Taekwondo era.
And then targeting the leg is Nelson. Nelson showing some flying technique of his own.
Couple of
Good counter.
Yep.
Nice combinations by Nelson. And Dill not shaking his head saying, hey, that didn't hurt anymore.
No, taking a look at it. LT stalking now. A couple scores there. There's a couple of overhand rights and a right-left combination. Kind of slapped that head on the back of that neck.
Tried to set up the head kick, did Nelson. Good job disguising it.
Yeah, Nelson just scored, though. And you take a look at Anthony Dill scored a couple times, too.
Yeah, a couple nice body shots by Dill, but Nelson with the more powerful strikes, that being the knees.
Now you wonder for Philadelphia, PA, when does that altitude start affecting you? Midway through the second round?
Yep. Walking across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Going to the dressing room.
Going upstairs, perhaps.
Ooh, good leg kick. You can see Dill having a little bit of a hard time stepping forward after that. Nelson recognizes that that's 3 in a row.
Oh, coming to LT
Throw
now.
the leg kick and then show it high.
Yep.
Classic
LT starting
technique.
to control it. Couple knees there. You know, LT just knows how to win fights. But Dill doing a great job. There's a nice counter by Dill. Kind of with the left. Oh, LT's beating up those legs a little bit.
Oh, and he tried to put his weight on that foot, and the leg didn't hold.
LT going with knees.
Going to work. But it's that damaged left leg of Dill. Twice he tried to stand on it, and the leg wouldn't support him.
Dude, LT Nelson's just a savage, man. And look at Dill still staying in there. Look at the knees. I mean, there was 3 knees in a row.
Brutal attack by LT.
Yeah, I mean, Dill's, listen, you can say what you want. Dill's a tough customer,
Oh,
man.
good knee to the head.
LT's just a weapon and just slaps him upside with that foot.
Less than 10 seconds to go. Another big knee to close out the round for Nelson.
Yeah, oh, another one by Nelson. Another one. Oh, man.
What a flurry by Nelson at the end of that round.
Wow. That might, wow.
Really, I mean, yes, obviously Dill was hurt, but it wasn't so much that he was staggered by the strikes to the head, it's that his leg wouldn't hold him up anymore.
Yeah, and that's the problem, that LT did some damage to the legs and then really started finding a home with that knee.
I think LT needs to come out and land 1 or 2 more leg kicks, and Dill not going to be able to stand.
Yeah, well, and what do you want to do? You want to conserve your energy for that final, because the next semifinal features Luis Pena.
Beautiful clinch work here by Nelson. Just doing an outstanding job of firing off with techniques. They won't let you grab the clinch and do any kind of resting. So you have to immediately be busy, and boy, LT was.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Dill, let's give it up for the kid from Philadelphia. You're tough. There's no doubt about that. He's a tough kid.
You can see his left leg. I wonder if he has an ACL injury. His knee's slapping back when he tries to put his weight on it.
Well, let's see how long
not
he can
only
go with
the,
it.
Yeah, not only the musculature, but possibly some internal support structures damaged.
Little wet noodleish.
Boy, LT makes that head kick look easy.
Yeah, doesn't he? For those of us having a hard time touching our toes. Anthony Dill, tough customer, man.
Brutalizing the body again is LT.
Oh, man.
Inside leg kick. That was on the other leg, the opposite of the damaged leg.
And then he just slapped him upside the jaw.
Really
Front
able
kick.
to just almost pick his targets now.
Yeah.
Is LT, and Dill relegated to leaning against the cage defensively.
Dill is one tough customer, I'll tell you that. And LT's just chopping that tree down.
Switch stance now has Dill trying to keep that left leg out of attack range, but Nelson just going right after it. And again, mixing low-high kicks is Nelson.
Really, Dill just can't do a lot right now because he's getting that leg folded in half, JR.
And I tell you, I'm quite amazed by the damage or the repeated strikes Dill's able to take. I would have thought 1 or 2 more kicks, but LT's put about 5 or 6 in.
No, if anybody out there questions how tough this kid is, don't do it because LT's just picking him apart right now. $1:15 left in this round. Must seem like forever.
Good job with his defense by Dill. Kept that hand up.
There's that knee.
Boy, LT just so much more flexible than you realize. Able to get those knees up to the head of his opponent so easily, not even having to pull his opponent down into it.
It took LT about first half of round 1 to figure out how he was going to attack this fight.
Yeah, again, just gathered information.
Oh, really, he's picking his shots right now. Good body shot by Dill. Doesn't faze Nelson. LT always looks like he's pinning a war, doesn't he?
That he does.
Dill's got to be going, is this guy man or machine?
Good job by Dill skipping in with the knee, but Nelson just blasts him with 2 of his own to the body.
And then an overhand right to finish it off.
And Dill with a big breath against the cage.
And then just picking up the legs, man. And look at the energy and the effort and the thrust that LT's putting into those leg kicks. Savage.
Well, I got to say, I think it's a pretty easy score to say that Nelson won that. But, man, imagine if Dill had won that and had to try to progress to the next fight with his legs having taken the damage that they did.
I'll tell you what, Dill's a tough customer.
Wow.
Because he took some serious abuse.
Most impressive with his heart. Checking out the replay here when there's about 1:20 left to go in the round. Dill, most of that round, either static or with his back against the cage, and Nelson just picking his targets.
Do you give any of those rounds 10-8 rounds, JR? Was it enough?
Yeah, you really could have.
That second round for sure.
The third round where Dill just
took punishment.
Very minimal offensive output, and Nelson so accurate and easy to see the damage that he's inflicting. Despite the toughness of Dill, you can see the damage accumulating.
I can see Dill getting the first round. I can see the first round going to Dill, but at the very least, I think it's a 29-28 fight.
Head kicks there by LT and follows it up nicely with the back fist. Dill steps back, takes a couple of deep breaths. After he'd been sort of on the receiving end of a lot of that, able to just only throw 1 or 2 strikes, his combinations kind of.
And LT's used to going 5. He's used to going 5 rounds.
Yep.
So
all right, we'll take it up to Josh.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Short scores us about 29-28. Judge Van Tine scores us about 29-28. And Judge Abeda scores us about 30-27. All in favor of our winner by unanimous decision and advancing to the finals of the King of Sparta Lightweight Pro, LT Smash Nelson!
Congratulations, Mr. Nelson. We'll see you again. We're going to have a post-fight interview here.
Smash.